Good day, everyone. Today we're going to learn about graphing in the coordinate plane. What are the things that you're going to do? What are the things that you're going to learn? So the main objective here is that the student will be able to graph ordered pairs in the coordinate plane and graph points by the use of Pythagorean theorem to find the distance in the coordinate plane. So ordered pairs are used to locate points in a coordinate plane. So there will be a y-axis, which is this line, the vertical line, and then we have the x-axis, which is the horizontal line, and this one is the origin. We call this one as Cartesian plane. So coordinate plane is a grid formed by intersection of two numbers. So we can find where is the coordinate plane. So it says that an ordered pairs is the value of x and y. So we have here, when we can see here in the diagram or the picture, that we have the x and y value, which is that one is the ordered pair, which is these 2 points will determine what is that distance or what is that point to locate. So from here we have the x value is 3, the y value is 4, so therefore this one is 3 and 4. So the x and y axis separate the coordinate plane into 4 radians, or we call this one as quadrants. Okay, so we have the first quadrant. The value of x and y is both positive. So we have positive x, positive y. So these two are the coordinate planes, or we call this one as the ordered pairs. Then this quadrant number 2, we have negative x and positive value of y. In quadrant number 3, negative value of x and a positive value of y. And then in the fourth quadrant, we have positive value of x and a negative value of y, because when you can observe here, from the point of origin going to this side is positive, going to the other side is negative, and then from the point of origin going up is the y-axis, which is the positive y, and then going down is the negative y-axis. Let's try this one. In ordered pair, the first number is the x-coordinate and the second number is the y-coordinate. So when we're going to point or plot the graph of -3 and 2, so this one is the value of x. So therefore, we say that going back to the quadrants, negative x is in the second quadrant and a positive y. So therefore, the graph or the point will be located here in the second quadrant. So where can we find the point? So we will just see that one of the grid here is 1 unit, because we count that one as -1, -2, -3, 4, and 5. From here as well, it says +1, +1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The same, both of them are in 5 units. So therefore, we will just count going to left by 3 and then going up by 2. So therefore, you can locate now the point. It's in here. So this point is -3 and a +2. Now let's try graph the 3 locations on the coordinate plane. Place your home at the origin. Notice that you can draw a right triangle. The x-coordinate and the y-coordinate are the lengths of the legs of the right triangle. So let's try to solve this one using the coordinates. Okay, so let's show the coordinates. So it says that the problem are in this diagram. So we can see that we have 5 units, but the diagram shows that the value of x or the value of y is in this point. Okay, so we have 0.5, this one, and the value of x is in 0.6. So one grid line is 1 unit. So therefore we can draw now a triangle that this form from here. This one will be our origin going to this point. Now what we are going to locate, or what we are going to solve, we will try to find out what will be the distance of these two we have points. Okay, so from the point X going to the point Y, which will form a right triangle. So how will we solve now? Using, we have our Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so for the use of Pythagorean, what is the formula again for Pythagorean? We get c squared equals to a squared plus b squared, which is the c now is our hypotenuse. So therefore this is our c. We have our value of a and we have the value of b. So the length now of these two legs are 5 and 6. So therefore we can solve as c squared is equal to a, which is, we have 6. So therefore we will have 6 squared plus 5 squared. So therefore we will get now as c squared equals to 36 plus we have 25. So c squared is equals to 61. Okay, so then c is equals to square root of 61. So this one is not perfect square, so you just try to calculate and estimate your answer. So approximately how much is the value of c. You can use your calculator to calculate. So therefore we have now c. Okay, so the value of c is approximately 8. Okay, because 8 is closer to square root of 64. Okay, so therefore the value of c now is approximately 8 units. So when you're going to solve for the Pythagorean, or you're going to solve for the right triangle, always remember that the c, or the hypotenuse, is the longest side of the two legs. Okay, so let's try to plot some. We have ordered pairs. So let's say we have ordered pair. We have letter A. Let's say we get A is -3 and -2. Letter B, let's say we get 4 and 3. And then letter C, let's say we will have -2 and 1. And then letter D, we will have now as 4, or let's say 5 and -2. Okay, so we will try to plot each of the graph. So just show that each grid lines is 1 unit. So therefore we can plot now. This one is the x-axis. Okay, this one will be your y-axis, and then your origin is here, which is this one is the ordered pair of 0, x, and 0, y. Okay, so let's try to plot. Where can we find now the value of a? Or let's say this one now is quadrant number 1. Okay, which is the value of x. Okay, quadrant number 1, which is the value of x is positive and the value of y is positive. The other side, we have a quadrant number 2. The value of x is negative, the value of y is positive. And then in quadrant number 3, the value of x is negative and the value of y is negative. And then in here, in quadrant number 4, okay, the value of x is a positive value and a negative value for y. Okay, so therefore, by looking at the diagram sign, you can determine which quadrant you can see these. We have points. So from here we have both are negative. So therefore this one we can determine that this problem A is in quadrant number 3. This one both are positive, so therefore it is quadrant number 1. Negative and a positive, so therefore this one is quadrant number 2. And then this one is positive and a negative, so quadrant number 4. Okay, so let's plot now the graph. Let's say we have letter A, negative, so therefore it's here. So it says negative value of x, so 1, 2, and 3. So therefore here is negative 3. And then go down by negative 2. So therefore this is the point now where you can find that we have a point. Okay, so let's try B. B is 4 and 3, so therefore you count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 3 up. 1, 2, 3. So therefore this point is our B point. Okay, next let's try letter C. Negative, so it must be in quadrant number 2, right? Negative or positive. So 1, 2, and then 1. So therefore this one now will be your value of C. And then the last one we have, okay, so we have quadrant number 4. So therefore here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then negative 2. So 1 and 2 counts. Therefore this one now is your value of D. Okay, so therefore by determining the quadrant, determining the sign, you can now plot where can you find each of the following points. Okay, so next we will try to graph now with the use of the equation. Graphing, we have an equation or linear equation, so you can use a table, or if there is a table given, so you just only plot the graph. So let's say we have this equation, so let's try y. Okay, so y, sorry, we have y is equals to 2x plus 1. So from here, what will be the graph of 2x plus 1? So you have to make a table first. Okay, so the table is like this one. So for example, these are the value of x, this one will be the value of y. Okay, so how will we determine now the value of x and the value of y? So let's say we have the value of x. Okay, we'll just point 3 values of, or let's say 4, negative 2, negative 1, and then 1 and a positive 2. So what will be the value of y? So let x, okay, let x equal to negative 2, so that is negative 4. Okay, so we will have 2 times negative 2 plus 1, which gives you negative 4 plus 1 gives us negative 3. Next, how about negative 1? So 2 times negative 1 plus 1, so that is negative 2 plus 1 equals to negative 1. And then if it is 1, so therefore 2 times 1 plus 1 equals to 2 plus 1 equals 3. And then if it is 2, 2 times 2 plus 1, so we have 4 plus 1 equals to 5. So these are our ordered pairs now. So what are the ordered pairs? We have negative 2 and negative 3. We get negative, okay, so that is the first one. Negative, or we have negative 1 and negative 1. And then the next one we have 1 and 3. And then after that we have 2 and 5. Okay, so how did we get the value of x? So if you are going to make a table, if it is not given, you have to choose which number you are going to use. Okay, so if the problem just only give the equation, so you have to determine by your own what are the values of x and then solve for the value of y. Okay, and then that's the time you have to graph after you get the ordered pairs, right? So sometimes you are going to use 4 units, or if you want to make it clear, so you can have 5 value of x. So here we just use 4 values of x. Now we'll try to graph now the equation. So this is the value of x and this is the value of y. This one will be our origin. So 1 grid lines is 1 unit. So therefore, number 1, so let's say this one is A, this one is B, this one is C, this one is letter D. So for letter A, it's negative 2, so therefore we're going to go here. And then it's negative 3, so therefore this one is in quadrant number 3. So negative 2 and negative 3. So therefore we will have 1, 2, then go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. So this one now is our point A. Next, where can we find our point B? So the same, it is negative 1, so therefore this one is still in quadrant number 3. So we can have negative 1 and negative 1 here. Okay, so this one is in point B. How about our point C? So C is positive and a positive, so therefore we have 1 and 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So here, this one is our point C. How about point D? Okay, so let's have the point D now. Point D is 2 and 5. So therefore we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this one is our point D. So when you're going to connect that one, okay, when you're going to connect, it will be going up or increasing. So that is how you will graph now for the linear equation. Okay, so given the table, you have the value of x and y, and then after that, get the coordinates, and then you can plot the graph. Okay, so that's the topic that you're going to learn, how to graph equations on how to determine the distance using the Pythagorean theorem, and how will you determine which quadrant is the given points. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much and God bless.